Hey there. Did you know that most people are not as happy or fulfilled as they'd like to be in their life? Did you also know that most people feel like there's something missing, that there's just something that is missing? They're not quite sure they can put their finger on it, but it's just not exactly the life that they thought they were going to live. Hi, my name is Sarah Bailey, and I'm going to talk about some of these reasons that these sorts of things happen and what you can do about it starting today. All right, so part of the reason why most people don't feel fulfilled is we're surrounded by stuff. So technology and cars, we have homes and we go on vacations, and we think that these things we want them and that they're going to bring us happiness. And maybe they do for a day, a week, a month, maybe even longer. But the issue is not the stuff, it's that it's external. So even when you think about reaching a goal, oftentimes people will say, oh, when I get this promotion, or when I get married, or when I finish college, or those sort of things. So then all of a sudden they've reached this moment that they think is going to bring them such happiness, and they get this feeling, what now? What do I do now? It may not be right away. It may be later that day or later that week, or a month. But at some point, those things that are from the outside cannot fill that voice, or quiet that voice, or fill that hole in your heart or in your life, because that's all external, and that can only go so far. That's because that thing that you're looking for, that feeling that you're hoping to get, that fulfillment and happiness and peace in your life, comes from inside. And that thing that is inside of you, that feeling, is purpose. And so that to me has been something that keeps coming up in my life and in those that I talk about, is that there's something missing. I'm just not quite as happy as I want to be, or I'm really not happy at all. And there's no reason why. I have a great job, I have a family, I have stuff, but that's not the stuff that gives you that feeling of fulfillment. Another thing that's interesting is that oftentimes people think that they know their purpose, and you may say, oh, it's my family, or my career, or God, or spirituality, my relationship with others. And there's a difference, because that also is an external thing that you can't rely on. So think about it like this. You may lose your job, and that may be the purpose or how you defined yourself. Or maybe even better yet, maybe you win the lottery. Wouldn't that be awesome? And then all of a sudden you don't need that job, and is that career really what it is that is bringing you joy and making you happy day to day? A lot of times people will say family or their kids, and what happens is kids grow up and they go to college, or they get a job, or they get married and have kids and families of their own. So when you hang your hopes or your happiness on things that are outside of you, you're setting yourself up for failure. All those things are external. And what really matters is knowing the true gifts that you've gotten from God. That's the key. Who are you as a person? What gifts are you given to share with the world? What sorts of things, what are your values? What are the things that make you happy? If you did it every day for the rest of your life, the desert island question, if you were stranded on a desert island, those are the things that really are going to start getting you to the place where you really can tell, like, what is it that's missing and how do I get there? Every time I think about this, it blows my mind. There are 7 billion people on this planet, and not one single one is like you. You are completely unique from 7 billion people. That just blows my mind. And then you think about it, step back a second and say, you know what? It's not just the people who are alive, but think about all the people who lived before me from the beginning of time to now, and then plus all the people who are alive now. So when you add that up, that's 107 billion people. And yes, that's a real number. I got it from the Population Reference Bureau, which actually is a real thing. I had to look that up too. But it's 107 billion people, and there's not one single person exactly like you, exactly like your, that has exactly your gifts, talents, personality, beliefs, experiences. It just blows my mind from the beginning of time to now, and then from now on until the end of time, there still will not. So that number, that 107 billion, is just growing by the moment. By the moment. That's how unique we are and so different. Our gifts, our talents, our likes, our personalities, and yet sometimes we try to be like our siblings or other people in our family, or our friends, or celebrities, or whoever it is, icons, people that we admire. But the difference is, they're not you. You can't have that. You're not supposed to have that. That's for them. You need to find the beauty and the uniqueness from within. Another thing that I think is so interesting, and I do this too, we plan everything. We plan weddings, vacations, parties, our daily activities. What are you going to do on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday? When are we going on vacation? What are we going to do? Where are we going to stay? What are we going to eat? We spend time and money and effort figuring out these things for a week, for a month, for a year, if it's a wedding or something big. But we plan our week, but we don't plan our lives. We just go through the motions, and we just take one day as it is. We don't look into it. What can I get out of this day? Because we're always looking forward. We're always looking for the next thing that's going to make us happy, when what can make us happy is right in front of us. It's amazing to me. That's the key. It's 100% the key. When you meet someone new, what do? You ask questions, and you have conversations, and you take time to get to know them and understand what they like and who they are and what their values are. And are you compatible? Are you going to be friends? Or are they not like you, or you don't agree with certain things? Whatever it is, you take time, and that's the key. Time alone. Of course, every person probably watching this video, a knee-jerk reaction is, I don't have time. There is no time. There are no excuses. I've used them. I've heard them. I get it. We're busy. We have busy lives. We have careers. We have families. But nothing is going to change this unless you take the time to really invest in yourself and figure out your purpose. Why are you here? What are those things, this unique combination of attributes and values and likes and dislikes? What is that for? How do you make that into your life so you don't feel like, oh, what is it? There's something else. What is that? Something else. So you don't feel like you're just going through the motions, like it's Groundhog Day over and over and over again. You got to learn about yourself. One Easter, all of our family gathered together, and it was like 3 or 4 years ago. And this was when I really started thinking about purpose and individuals and how different we are. And so it was 3 generations, my parents and that generation, my sibling and cousins, and then all of our kids. There were a bunch of kids. Anyway, so we're all in this big room, and I said, hey, what are y'all good at? What are your gifts and talents? What makes you unique? What are your God-given gifts? And immediately every kid was, basketball, soccer, I'm funny, I'm smart, I like spelling. They're just yelling out. Sometimes some of them were yelling out 5 or 10 things, just different things that they just wanted to share, that they know themselves. They know what they like. They know what they don't like. They haven't filtered all of this out. They're still, unfortunately learning the filter of, blend in, don't be different, don't be unique. And so the next thing was my generation. And, we've been around the block with emotional intelligence and personal development. So, there's some grumbling. So I'm a mom, or this is what I feel drawn to. So we're kind of batting that around. And then the older generation, it was crickets. not that they hadn't found purpose. It was just that they don't spend the time thinking about it because they were thinking about raising children and providing for families and retirement, and things got in the way, and it wasn't talked about. So there never was the time that you sat down and said, let me think about me, who I really am. And there are tons of resources out there. Read books, hire a coach. There are workshops. I mean, tons of ways that you can really start thinking about these things and answering these questions. I have a workshop called the Purpose Process, and it takes you through a journey where you take time to learn about you, who you think you are. Is that really true today? Is it the same person you were 10, 15, 20 years ago? You may be different now. What are the things that are important to you, your values? What do you like to do? And then you build that up, and then you design your life based on those things so that your actions are congruent with those things that you really like and enjoy and feel fulfilled, and that you do the things that you're made to do. Like we're designed differently so that we all have different things that we're good at and that we enjoy. And that's just the beauty of it. Is it's exciting and it's fun to think about these things, but we don't, because it takes time and we have no time and things like that. But then we wonder, why today felt just like yesterday and last week and the day before that, and what's missing. This is what's missing. Knowing and understanding your purpose, what you're doing here, why you're here. And when that happens, your Monday is just as exciting as your Saturday or Friday. You know, there is no, oh gosh, I'm back at it again, because it's a gift and it's exciting and fun and fulfilling, because it's what you're meant to do and what you love to do, and it makes all the difference. I hope you liked what I talked about today. If you did, I'd love for you to like it and share it with the folks in your family and friends. And if you'd like to learn more about what I do, you can visit my website, www.sarahbaileylifecoach.com. And if you have questions about the Purpose Process, you can email me at sarah@sarahbaileylifecoach.com. Hope this helped, just a little more than 10 minutes. Hopefully you can take 10 more and start asking these questions and learning more about yourself. I hope y'all have a great day, and talk to you soon.